Hello and welcome to Liberty and Gun Rights Podcast, episode 32. My name is James Moffitt, and I'll be your host. Today is Sunday, September the 15th, 2024. Today I'm joined by a guest speaker named Carlton Walker, and I'm pretty excited about Carlton. Thank you for being here and taking the time to speak to me.
You're
And
welcome. Thank you for having me.
all right, Carlton, I know you're running for office in District 15 here in the North Charleston, Goose Creek area. And so if you'd kind of just tell my viewers who you are and how you got into this and tell them a little bit of your history and what you're trying to accomplish, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. I'm running for State House District 15, which consists of North Charleston, Goose Creek, and Hanahan. The North Charleston area would be Midland Park and Deer Park, and everything before the railroad tracks on Ashley Phosphate all the way down to the fairgrounds, and then it goes to the KFC over there by the fairgrounds. Then as far as Goose Creek goes, it's everything to the right of 52 up to Liberty Hall, turn right, everything to your right to get to Liberty Hall Plantation. You turn in Liberty Hall, everything to the right side of that is in District 15, but the left side of Liberty Hall Plantation is not. And then when you get on Henry Brown off Liberty Hall, turn left, it goes all the way up to that school, everything to the left, all the way to the power lines. Then you come back down, everything to the right and the left to the railroad track. Once you get to Red Bank Road, you turn right, and it's everything on the left and the right. And if you go down Snake Road and get on Foster Creek, it's like the Goose Creek Middle School, or no, that's the elementary school. All the way down to a neighborhood called Carlton Place, which is pretty cool. And the first neighborhood's on the left, so that's the part of Hanahan we have.
Do you have a map? A map that you can share?
Yeah, I can send you a link, and you can. Matter of fact, I think you can find it on.
Huh? I can share it. Hold on. Let's see. Let me figure out.
Let me go on my.
Here.
Let's see.
All right, you see my web browser?
It's on my screen.
No, it's on. I'm sharing it on the actual podcast episode. I'm sharing my screen. Do you see it? Probably not.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Here you go. So I've got it on the other screen. You should be able to see it now.
Here, I'll send you an email real quick. And let me go on my Gmail. And I'll attach this attachment.
Which email are you sending to?
James.Moffitt@Gmail.
JamesCMoffitt@Outlook.com. You can send it to there.
Did you send me something from that email address?
I think so earlier, yeah, the invite.
Oh, I see it at Outlook.
Yeah, because I want to put that map up on the screen so people can see it.
All right, I just sent it to you.
All right.
So that's basically describing the district.
All right. While we're waiting on that email to come through, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what you're doing.
Okay, so I decided to run for office. The reason I decided to run for office, I actually reached out to the Charleston County delegation of senators and representatives. I had an issue that was going on, and I sent letters out, and my representative, Mr. Moore, ignored me. And the representative, Mark Smith from Daniel Island, District 99, replied back to me on how to help me. And I reached out to Mr. Moore multiple times. He ignored me, and I didn't think that was very cool. And then so as I gathered information, come to find out Mr. Moore would rather put a political relationship over a constituent. And so I don't believe that's the way you should do it. And so I decided to run for office. I had a primary opponent, Latricia Pond, who ran against Mr. Moore. And it was like right before, I think a week before you had to sign up if you're going to be in a primary. She bowed out. Created a website and, basically pointed out all the reasons she lost last time to Mr. Moore, because she didn't point out a lot of things, like the fact that Mr. Moore in 2022 voted against stopping men from competing with girls. She also did not point out that in October 15th of 2020, Mr. Moore accepted $1,000 from Alex Murdaugh. That's the guy who killed his wife and his son, and pled guilty. I believe I heard the amount was around $9 million. Don't quote me on that. Maybe you could find out the exact amount. So Mr. Moore, come to find out, he's telling everybody he's a Low Country native. That's a little dishonest, because he's not from the Low Country of District 15. He's actually from Hampton County, where Alex Murdaugh is from. And Mr. Moore has never returned that $1,000 that Alex Murdaugh gave him. I can't speak for Mr. Moore, but I can definitely speak for me. If I accepted, there's been multiple people who give me $1,000, but I need more donations, and we'll cover that in a little bit. So if somebody gave me $1,000 campaign contribution, and then I find out that they plead guilty to stealing millions of dollars, I'm going to be calling the prosecutor and saying, hey, where can I give this money back to the victims fund? Still to this day, as we're talking, Mr. Moore has never returned Alex Murdaugh's money of $1,000. And Mr. Moore would rather put political relationships over his constituents. I will never do that to a constituent. And just a working class person like me, I'm a working man for the working people. And then another thing about Mr. Moore, the reason I'm running, once I started finding out what was going on with him, he's missed 1,658 votes since he's been in office. And the first 4 years, he only went to work 65% of the time. So he missed 35%. And what is absolutely insane, for 2023, he missed 56% of his time in Columbia. I mean, he only went to work 44%. And so I got involved because one of the things that I found out through the judicial system is our judicial system is very corrupt. And one of the biggest issues in our state right now is the Judicial Merit Selection Commission being overhauled. I have experience with that. I went in front of the Judicial Merit Selection Commission. I had a 47-page affidavit that I prepared myself with 1,400 pages of exhibits on why a judge should have been removed from their bench. And the Judicial Merit Selection Commission ignored all the wrongs done by this judge and reappointed this judge back to our benches in South Carolina. I'll give you an example. Earlier this year and last year, I actually kept a judge from getting promoted to circuit court. This judge has not followed their own court orders. They haven't followed the case law. They haven't followed the statutes of South Carolina, and they violated the Constitution. I created a website against this judge and basically gave the website to the House, every House member and every senator, and this person was not promoted. I look at it like this: if we're going to have judges in our court systems, they need to be the Navy SEALs of lawyers. If you cannot follow every I and every T of the law, then you need to get your butt off the bench. And I'm asking the constituents of District 15, it's time. We all know right now the number one issue in Columbia, and the governor signed into law a bill to change the Judicial Merit Selection Commission, but it's not enough. He even said that. I actually went to Columbia and I testified at the Judicial Ad Hoc Committee meeting concerning judicial reform. When I was there the whole time, and Mr. Moore could have been there. He had a 13-minute committee meeting, and then after that, he was MIA. And he advertised one of the things when he was running for office. He advertised about vote for him, get more justice. And so far, he has not delivered on getting more justice. And so they gave me 3 minutes to speak at the Judicial Ad Hoc Committee meeting. And when I spoke after my 3 minutes, I used 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The committee started asking me questions, and they drilled me for about 20 minutes. And just about every committee member, whether it was a Democrat or a Republican, actually thanked me for my ideas and thanked me for giving them solutions to the problem. And some of the information I gave them was used. And so that's about judicial reform. There's some other topics. Are you there?
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right. So that's about the Judicial Ad Hoc Committee, or the Judicial Merit Selection Commission, being reformed. The next topic I'd like to cover is the reform of our family court system. And a lot of people see me in these videos on the Berkeley County site and on Facebook, as this working man that's, making these crazy signs that are getting, one post has got over 800 comments on my signs. And if you really take the time to discuss issues with me, I will study an issue. What I want to talk to you about is the reform of the judicial system in family court. I'm a 4th generation veteran. I put my life on the line in Somalia on the flight deck of the United States ship, the Wasp, LHD-1. I was in Somalia in 93. We had an aircraft get shot down in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. The next morning, that night, we unleashed the flight deck, sent 60 Marines ashore to secure that aircraft. And at 2 a.m, I was playing spades and eating geedunk. For those who don't know what geedunk is, that's basically the Navy term for candy and Cokes. And back then I smoked cigarettes. So we're playing spades and smoking cigarettes, eating geedunk. And all of a sudden we have an alarm go off. Flight quarters, all hands, man your stations. Chief comes running out of the berthing, yelling, down bird, down bird. So we unleashed the flight deck. The next morning, my chief picked me and another shipmate, blue shirt, to recover the aircraft, as my chief directed the H-53 carrying the damaged aircraft, and me and my shipmate secured it to the deck. And then the 53 let go of the aircraft. So I did my time in Somalia. My father is, I would say, the most decorated out of 4 generations. He's got the Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart. My grandfather was island hopping with the Marine Corps in the Pacific during World War II. He was a Navy CB. So basically the Marines would tear stuff up and he'd go in there and help build it. And then my great grandfather served in the Army in the trenches in France, got shot in the heel and gassed by mustard gas, and walked with a limp for the rest of his life. And the reason I'm telling you these stories about my service is because God only burdens those who can carry a burden to make other people's lives better in the future. And I firmly believe God said, hey, Carlton, check this out. I'm going to put you through one of the worst court cases in South Carolina history. Currently, my case is on appeal. I'm going to win the appeal. Also have my lawyer is suing some of the players in this thing. I'm going to eventually win. But firmly believe God was like, look, Carlton, I know your resolve. and I'm going to point out what's messed up about this justice system. And one of the things in family court, they are not following the 14th Amendment. They're not following the 7th Amendment or the 6th Amendment. The 14th Amendment states if you have property and someone wants to take your property, you have the right to a jury trial to determine if they're going to take your property. So we have United States Supreme Court case that says if you try to take someone's child from them, if the state is going to take their child, they have a right to a jury because their child is more valuable than their property. And there's only one state in the United States that follows this, and that's Texas. They offer jury trials for child custody, or if the state DSS or whoever is going to take away your child, you have a right to have a jury to decide if you're going to lose your kid. And so I believe South Carolina needs to follow Texas and implement that. It's the 14th Amendment, and I'll cover the 6th and the 7th. But before I do that, let me explain this to you. When I was in boot camp, I gave an oath to defend the Constitution and the flag. Those are the only 2 oaths that I gave. And week 5 of boot camp, they busted our asses for 3 days straight. You didn't know you could go 3 days with only sleeping like 45 minutes at a time or 15 minutes. And on the last day, my company commander had all 60 of us. I was a section leader. I was in charge of 12 men, and had all of us, all 60, all 6 sections, grab an edge of an American flag. And I want you to picture for a second 60 guys standing around an American flag with just a thumb and a finger and chest to butt all the way around this flag. And my company commander, all of a sudden, he says, I want you to look at every single man in this room. Look at them in their eyes. And we're like, man, what is he talking about? We're having to look at each other. And all of a sudden he says, some of you in this room are never going to make it out of the United States military alive. You're going to die defending the Constitution, what that flag stands for. He said, this is your only shot that I'll let you out of the military. If you want to leave this door right now. Not one man left that room. And for all those who gave all to defend the Constitution, for me to come home and find out we have our courts are not following the Constitution, not on my watch, sir. It's not going to happen. So the 14th Amendment, if I'm elected, you can guarantee in January, I'll be putting forth a bill to enforce the 14th, the 6th, and the 7th Amendments. I've already explained the 14th Amendment, and Texas follows that. And the 6th Amendment of the Constitution is your right to a jury trial if you're facing jail time. And we have a case called DeMarco versus DeMarco from 2011, where our very own Supreme Court of South Carolina says in this ruling that the family courts of South Carolina are violating parents' rights of locking them up without an option for a jury when they are facing jail time. So if you come into family court and you're behind on child support, or your ex filed this rule to show cause and she's wanting you to get jail time, you have the right to raise your hand and say, I'd like a jury trial. But guess what? In South Carolina family courts, they will not allow it. And here's why. These judges that are in our family court systems are friends with the lawyers, and they are not deciding cases based on the facts of the case. They are deciding on which lawyers they like best. And if you don't believe that, I'll sell you to Ravenel Bridge for $1 and you can go spray paint it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
that's the 6th Amendment. And so I'm saying to all fathers and mothers, you have a right. I put my life on the line to defend the Constitution. And my slogan's put me in, coach. I'm begging you, put me in. Just like my chief picked me to be the man on the flight deck when we recovered a downed bird. And the reason he chose me is because we had a situation in the hangar bay where we were bringing in an H-53. That's the biggest helicopter we have. And the ship listed all of a sudden, and the 2 spikes that was holding the front landing gear broke off, like literally like two thumbs just snapped from the weight of the H-53. And it started rolling down, about to go out of the door of the hangar bay. And as a blue shirt, my job was to walk the aircraft and throw chains or chalks under it. And you'll have to Google what a H-53 looks like, but it's got this huge fuel tank. You got about, I don't know, about that much clearance. And the tire is probably 3-4 feet, probably 4 feet away from the edge of the fuel tank. I dove under it, I threw the chalk under it, and all of a sudden, as I threw the chalk under it, the aircraft rocks up on that chalk, and it rolled back down. And I was kind of scared because if it would have went over the chalk out the door, I mean, I'm underneath that thing. So
Right.
And the guy on the other side just stood there. He didn't do jack. And my chief chewed that guy's ass, and he thanked me because I literally stopped, a serious mishap. And so when we had that bird shot down, and the next morning, I mean, this is a, I don't know, months later, maybe it was a year and a half, 2 later. My chief picked me and this other guy to recover that bird because he knew he could count on me.
What branch were you in again?
The Navy. I worked on the flight deck of the Wasp.
Well, I want to take the time to thank you for your service, and I have several friends that are Second Amendment advocates and activists, and I know several of them served in the Navy as well. So I'm sure your
Cool.
your story will resonate with them. And I've got
That's cool.
I'm going to share the map.
Yeah, Kip, before you do that, let me finish on the court system. I covered the 14th and the 6th. I want to cover the 7th Amendment, and I'll make it quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Our family courts are also not abiding by the 7th Amendment of the United States Constitution, which I put my life on the line for. The 7th Amendment states if you have a civil action over $20, you have a right for a jury to decide if you have to pay any money over $20. You can ask for a jury trial for a $50 seatbelt ticket, but you cannot ask for a jury trial in family court, which is insane. Our neighbor state, Georgia, actually offers jury trials in family court for fees. They follow the 7th Amendment of the Constitution. Child support, is it over $20? Absolutely. Guess what? You can raise your hand and say, Your Honor, I'd like a jury to decide how much I have to pay in child support in Georgia. You can also ask a judge to let a jury decide, hey, I want a jury to decide how much I have to pay in alimony. Guess what? Georgia does that because that's a civil amount that they're asking you to pay over $20. And the Constitution is very clear. If it's over $20, you have the right to raise your hand and say, I'd like a jury to decide these fees. Also, Georgia offers for guardian fees that you have to pay, or if you have to pay your ex's lawyer fees because the ex's lawyer churned the case to keep it going, to run up the bill. And I firmly believe about giving access to jury trials in family court is needed because when you have a jury, you take away the power from the judge who's buddies and goes fishing or hunting or hangs out with these lawyers at conferences. Guess what? You got a jury of your peers deciding if they can take away your child. You got a jury of your peers deciding if they're going to lock you up for not paying child support. Give me an example. This truck driver during COVID, actually, I know of 5 truck drivers, and I've learned this from going door to door in District 15. During COVID, there were about 5 truck drivers that I know of that lost their CDL driver's license due to back child support. South Carolina, this is another thing that I will change if elected. I'll put this in, man, January. I'm going to end the practice in South Carolina where they take away your driver's license when you get behind on child support. That is, I don't know who came up with that. That is stupid. 2 things happen. A lot of people go, yeah, you take away their ability to get to work. Yeah, that's one of the main issues. But the other main issue is you take their ability away to go see their child. And let me tell you the story about this truck driver. During COVID, we all saw the container ships stuck off the coast. They weren't coming in. And these owner operators of truckers or of trucks they have to have that rig moving to make money. If it's not moving, they don't have money. And so one of the fathers got behind, he got it. So when they went to go to the port to get their next container, the police were waiting on them. They got arrested. Their truck got impounded. They ended up losing their trucking business. And one of the fathers out of these 5 ends up being a drug addict on the streets because he lost all hope. And my question to the family court, and if you elect me as your lawmaker, I will end this stupid practice. My question to family court, how is it in the best interest of that minor child that their parent, one of their parents, lost the ability to not only take care of the child, but lost the ability to take care of themselves and was so upset and depressed, turned into a drug addict? I will end that practice of taking away driver's license, and I will implement a system where family court needs to deal with the outside private industry. So when a parent gets behind on child support, guess what? We have a program to help you get caught up. You might have a job, but guess what? You're going to have 2 jobs now to get your little butt caught up. We're going to send you through this program and help get parents caught up on child support, not incarcerate them, not take away their
Right.
driver's license. I mean, it's insane.
Well, when they wind up in jail, guess what? They're still falling even further behind on their child support. When you're sitting in jail, you can't work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my whole thing is, here's how I'll make all this happen, especially on the 14th, the 6th, and the 7th Amendment. And this is a $60 billion industry in the legal profession across the United States, the family court industry. I have the gonads to take on that industry, and here's why. And here's how we'll do it. Any lawyer or judge that opposes this legislation in South Carolina, please give me your name, because I'm going to make you famous with the military and our veterans, because you do not support the military. We put our lives on the line to defend the Constitution, and by God, you're going to follow it. And if you don't want this to happen, then guess what? We got Texas does the 14th. We got Georgia doing the 7th, and we have our own Supreme Court of South Carolina case from 2011, DeMarco versus DeMarco, that says the family court's violating parents' rights and locking them up without an option for a jury. Try me. If you don't believe, this is what we're going to do. My plan is, if you put me in office and if you vote for me November 5th and November 6th, I'm elected. Come January, I'm putting this bill in. And next year, April of next year, is the 160th anniversary of the Civil War. I have African Americans, I have Hispanics, I have mothers, I have fathers. They're all going to meet me on the same day that the Civil War ended, and we're going to announce we are going to start the family civil court war in South Carolina. And this time we're going to be on the right side of history to end this practice of taking away children from parents and giving the power back to the people. And it's going to be amazing. It's just we're going to change the family court system to make South Carolina an example for the rest of the United States to follow. Listen, 160 years ago, the rest of the United States followed us when one of our own Citadel cadets fired the first shot of the Civil War. Guess what? You put me in, coach, your own actual District 15 native. I came home from the hospital to 8811 Deerwood Drive. This is my home. I'm going to change it, and we're going to be on the right side of history this time. It's going to be absolutely amazing, because once we do this and make South Carolina an example for the rest of the nation to follow, every single state will follow this legislation and implement the 14th, the 6th, and the 7th Amendment of the Constitutions, giving the power back to the people in family courts.
Well, it sounds like it needs to happen for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen again. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I put the map up, right?
Yep.
So there's the map, and that's important, but it's not as important as the website I have here behind it. Let me just go ahead and let's see. Let me kill that. There, I want to get rid of the map. So do you see do you see your website here? I'm gonna open it up.
Oh, my website. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
vote
some reason, it's all black.
Carlton Walker for SC House District 15. Well, that's the way it's coming up for me. What is it?
Okay.
So can you see the
Yeah.
text? Okay. We must bring District 15 up and our tax money back to our District 15. And I like your website pages, and I want to encourage all my listeners. You're gonna be watching this podcast episode, and it's votecarltonwalker.com. That's votecarltonwalker.com. And I would implore everybody to, especially in District 15, that watches this episode, this podcast episode, to go to the Carlton's website. It's got website pages. Click below to get to know Carlton and his accomplishments, home. You want to go ahead and talk about donations that you need? You want to hold
Yeah.
sign?
We can talk about donations. My opponent, the last election that he was in, he spent, he told me personally $100,000. I'm a working man. I don't have that kind of money. I'm looking for, I need 1,000 people to donate just $50 to make this happen. If you believe in everything I'm saying, I will promise you, I have a track record of winning. If you click on my experience page, it shows me from a little boy, age 4. I played Pee Wee baseball at AC Cochran here in Deer Park in District 15. I outsold all my teammates. We were having a contest to sell Chick-fil-A tickets to provide for our baseball team new uniforms and equipment. It was a team effort, but I outsold everybody. I ended up winning a baseball bat and a major league glove. And you're going to see me walking around with a little tiny little league glove and a little league baseball bat. And when people ask me, I'm that little kid that was going door to door. Now I'm going door to door asking you to put me in, coach. And so yeah, the donations, I need 1,000 people to donate $50, and that would put me at 50,000 in donations. I think in my campaign I've raised about $12,000, but if we could get 1,000 people to donate $50, you can do $50, you can do 250, you can do 500, and the max donation is 1,000. All those amounts are on my donate page.
Right.
And
what does that money go to, if you don't mind me asking you that?
that money does not go to me.
Okay.
That goes, all right. The signs, just ordered, I've been ordering them about 100 at a time. 100-yard signs, the small ones, excuse me, that you see, those cost about $400 for 100 pack. I have 200 signs right now. I need more. I need literally 1,000. That'll be like about $4,000. There's this service that in our district we have, I think it's 9,000 Democrats, 7,000 Republicans, and then 8,000 swing voters. I have the list. It's $19,000 for this service to literally call and contact every single swing voter. And if we do that, and I know if I get my message out that I'm against Mr. Moore voting against saving women's sports, I'm also against Mr. Moore voting against stopping children 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds from being sexually transitioned in our state. That's absolutely ludicrous. If we get this message out, I firmly believe that we could raise 50 grand. That basically goes to all expenses. Also, you can go to, I believe it's SC Ethics. You can see my reporting where my money's been spent. Yeah, man, this is a grassroots effort. Like it says, we got a QR code here. I don't know if you can see this.
Yep. Sure do.
But it says, please donate. 4th generation veteran elect. November 5th, 2024, Carlton Walker, State House 15, North Charleston, Goose Creek, Hanahan, votecarltonwalker.com. And my slogan, put them in, coach. So if somebody, this is my actual yard sign. So if you'd like a yard sign, please donate $50 because you can help me buy more signs for other people. And then that service. Also, I'd like to have at least 2 or 3 fish fries between now and the election, and the fish fry to feed 300 people is like $3,000. I mean, stuff like that. I just,
Got you.
hey, matter of fact, give you an example. On the 24th, I've been invited to speak at the Citadel at 6 p.m. So the 24th is next Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Citadel. I'll be speaking. Also on the 26th, 4 p.m., the NAACP and the League of Women Voters in Moncks Corner. I believe it's going to be held at a church. I'll put that information on my website so people can come out and watch. And I believe Mr. Moore has been invited to the NAACP League of Women Voters event. So that might be some fireworks for people to come watch.
Right.
And then we have some other events coming up too. But between now and the election, somehow we got to raise 50 grand and make phone calls, call all your friends, tell them what this is about. I mean, it's literally, the reason I'm running is for our children. Our children deserve, give me an example. The reason I'm running, if you go on the website, my website, but I also have a website, nomorejamore.com. If you could pull that up and let the viewers see that, nomorejamore.com. On that website, nomorejamore.com, if you scroll down, March of 2023, well over a year ago, almost 2, I contacted Mr. Moore and asked him to get the bill 3481 shared parenting to the floor. That's basically a bill that would give fathers, African-American fathers, give just dads an opportunity to be dads now. And I asked him to get it to the floor, and you can see the text chain between me and Mr. Moore. And what was crazy is like, well, whose bill is it? And I was like, you're a co-sponsor, like his name's on the bill. And he's like, well, who's the main sponsor? I'm like, Stuart Jones. Like, how do you not know when I tell you a bill 3481, how do you not know your co-sponsor? How do you not know what the bill's about or
Right.
who the main sponsor is?
Right.
That is very concerning, because is he putting his name on stuff and, oh, I'll just read it later? That's ridiculous. So you got his website pulled up. That's his seat empty, which is pretty funny. That's his name tag. It says J.A. Moore on that, and it's empty. He's missed 1,658 votes. He is not representing District 15. It is time for a massive change. And whether you vote for Trump or whether you vote for Harris, I want you to scroll down and vote Carlton Walker so we can bring District 15 up. Yeah, that right there. That's his record for no-shows. And matter of fact, both parties, the Democrats and Republicans, call him Ghost. And that green little sign right there, the Democrat Party made that, not me. The Democrats made that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The
Yeah,
Democrats made that.
I have to tell you, with my experience with being in South Carolina Cary as a board member and VP, and we have been battling with the rhinos in Columbia since 2015 about getting our gun rights given back to us and getting open carry.
Yeah, my good friend Matt Lieber, if y'all are watching this, definitely vote for him. He just unseated Rhino Sandy Sin by 36 votes.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Matt Lieber, this senior law student, Graham Horseman, took on the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Commission
Yep.
And I went and spoke. You can go on my website. I have a Second Amendment page. You can watch when I spoke there. And I explained to them because I'm a licensed CWP instructor. I explained to them how like they're messing up. And then also on my Second Amendment page, you can watch the video of when I discovered that OMG, Goose Creek, City of Goose Creek's doing the same thing as Charleston.
Yep.
And I informed them, I was like, look, you need to take that down. The state is the only governing body that has a right in our state to decide any issues with firearms, any issues.
Right.
You can and what is crazy, the City of Goose Creek listened to me and they took all the signs down, no concealed carry signs in the parks. That was this guy that did that.
It took us what, almost 19 months to get the Charleston Parks and Recreation to take those signs down. It was a fight, needless to say.
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm gonna tell a lot of people this. Here's the thing. You can elect me and put me in office, but we got to get people volunteering to be on these different commissions. There's all these small commissions in Berkeley County and in Charleston County, and we need people that are like-minded, that want to have, like, if we flip that, and we have the power, the Charleston County delegation appoints those people on that commission. And same thing with Berkeley. The Berkeley County delegation appoints these people. We need people like me in office. I will vet these people. And if they are a far left woke person, I am not voting for them. I'll be the biggest loudmouth. My mom told me the squeaky wheel always gets the grease. And sometimes it's not the best grease, but I promise if you put me in, coach, and I find somebody, oh, wait, you're what? No. We're going to put somebody, a conservative, on these commissions so we make sure Berkeley County doesn't have these people trying to take your right to carry away from you.
Right.
Another thing, I mean, I would love your viewers' point on this. So, a couple things. One is the no concealed carry sign. Now that they pass this law, and if you carry concealed, you obviously know what just took place. Since they passed this law, every single business has put up a no concealed carry sign. I would love to have those taken down, but I don't think the businesses will do that. So I have an option to change the sign. And of course, the law already states you can create whatever sign you want. But I would like to actually put this in the statute where we have the no concealed carry sign. We change it to, it'll say no concealed carry. And of course, in black and the red and the gun. But underneath that in green, it needs to say exception, CWP holders and law enforcement. Now, law enforcement can already carry even if there's a sign up, but why don't we advertise that? And then why, and the left, like Mr. Moore, he'll say, oh, we want more training. Well, you're basically, and I'm going to cover something in a second. I don't know if you know this, but his sister was one of the 9 individuals that got shot at Charleston AME Church, which is a horrible tragedy. But
just to let you know, we got 6 minutes left.
All right, so let me cover this. So, Mr. Moore, that's a horrible situation. 9 wonderful people lost their lives, but that piece of junk, Dylan Ruth, that did this, he understood nobody in that church had a gun because our current law says you cannot carry in a church unless you have the pastor's permission.
Right.
I think that needs to be changed. Because if you get your CWP, that means you went through a SLED background check, FBI background check. You went through the training, and SLED said, "Okay, you can have a license to carry." You did all that. Why can't? Because you and I both know when I'm carrying, you can't tell I have a firearm on, and I'm not going to brandish my weapon. And that's another thing. Mr. Moore picked a fight over a parking spot, and that ended up being in the news. and he claims some guy flashed his firearm at him. Well, first of all, that shows how he is not considerate. If you're an elected official, if somebody takes a parking spot, you wave at them, say, hey, all right, and you carry on. And also as a CWP holder and carrier, we all know that you cannot instigate a confrontation.
Right.
So Mr. Moore instigated the confrontation by rolling his window down. Hey, you took my spot. I mean, I don't know what he said to the guy, but supposedly the guy flashed a firearm at him. And it was a guy that was in his 60s. Maybe the guy got scared, but CWP classes, we teach people, do not brandish your firearm.
Right.
That can get you killed.
Right.
But for our schools and our churches, if you got your CWP, you need to be able to carry on school grounds. Because give an example, like we all know about Virginia Tech, both situations, people that had their CWPs were killed because the law says you can't carry on campus. And so their gun was in their car. And we all know this, these criminals, they only pick soft targets.
Right.
And they don't pick hard targets. You never hear about them going and shooting up a biker's bar, bikers are probably going to shoot back.
Right.
So how many minutes we got left?
We've got 3 minutes and 34 seconds, and I'm going to need about half of that for the conclusion statement. So listen, I don't think this is going to be the only podcast episode that you and I are going to do. I think we need to do several. And
Absolutely.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I want to do everything I can through this podcast episode to motivate people to donate and to help you with this, because it's a win-win if we can get you into office. So I'm going to go ahead and do the conclusion statement. Don't disconnect. We'll talk afterwards. So to my listening audience, I want to say thank you for the privilege of your time. Our podcast is hosted on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. It's also on Apple Podcasts. Be sure to share our podcast with your Second Amendment friends, family, and coworkers. You can contact me at Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. That's Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. Thank you for listening to today's episode.